Ryan Blaney walked into Watkins Glen 2025 carrying a memory he probably wanted to forget. A lap 1 crash in 2024 that had ended his day before it even started. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought he was going to be the man to shake Shane van Gisbergen's road course empire. SVG had been turning every twist and turn into his personal highlight reel all season long, sweeping every road course on the schedule with surgical precision. But on qualifying day, the impossible happened. Blaney didn't just show up, he stole the spotlight. His lap? 71.960 seconds at 122.568 miles per hour. That was just 0.033 seconds faster than SVG. But in NASCAR, that's not just anything. That's the kind of number that makes a garage full of seasoned mechanics stop mid-wrench and look up at the leaderboard. It was only Blaney's second ever road course pole, and it happened on SVG's turf. Afterwards, Blaney explained how he pieced it together. I knew I had a really good lap going. I got through the S's really good. Like 2 and 3, I got up the hill really good. My car stuck well. I thought I gave a little bit back in the bus stop. I kind of committed really hard in there and got loose and hit the curbs wrong. But luckily I had like a buffer from the S's. He was being modest, but the truth was clear. He'd just beaten the best in the business at his own game. For Blaney, this wasn't just about track position. This was about sending a message. And he even admitted who inspired him to sharpen his skills. Whenever you can learn from the best guys out there, I try to take all that and absorb it. He had studied SVG's every move, his braking points, his corner exits, even how he set up passes. This was like the student finally getting a higher grade than the teacher on a pop quiz. The difference was the real test was still ahead, race day. When the green flag dropped, Blaney came out swinging. His Penske Ford wasn't just fast, it was planted, stable, ready to take the fight to SVG. Lap after lap, he stayed cool under pressure, even grabbing a stage win. But anyone who knows road course racing knows it's not just about speed, it's about keeping your head, managing your tires, and timing every move over 90 grueling laps. And SVG? Well, he's the guy who turns waiting for the right moment into an art form. Slowly but surely, he closed the gap. It wasn't dramatic, no reckless lunges or desperate dives, just methodical, precise, almost mechanical. Then, at the perfect moment, he made his move. Once SVG got the lead, he didn't just keep it, he built it. By the checkered flag, he was 11 seconds ahead. Blaney crossed the line in 6th. By most standards, that's a solid day, especially considering where he'd been a year before. But for him, it was unfinished business. He called it a well-executed day and took pride in the team's effort, but you could tell there was a fire there. The kind of fire that comes from knowing you're close, but not quite there yet. What he did gain, though, was knowledge. Every lap behind SVG was a masterclass. How to brake deeper without locking up. How to keep tire wear under control while still pushing. How to handle lap traffic without losing momentum. Those lessons could be gold when the playoffs roll around, especially now that road courses are becoming more critical to the championship. Even in the garage, people noticed. Whispers about Blaney's improved braking zones. Observations about how he was hitting apexes sharper than before. Analysts pointed out that late in the run, his lap times were just a tenth slower than SVG's. Fatigue wasn't the problem, strategy might have been. If Penske could tighten up the pit calls and tire cycles, the gap might not just close, it might disappear. And the man himself? SVG admitted Blaney had made him work for it. For a driver who's used to dominating road courses, being pushed that hard was a wake-up call. He even said he had to dig deeper than usual to secure the win. That's not just praise. That's an acknowledgement that Blaney had broken through the mental barrier most drivers face against SVG. What happened at Watkins Glen wasn't just about one qualifying lap or one sixth-place finish. It was about the shift in perception. Up until that weekend, SVG's dominance on road courses felt untouchable. Fans almost treated his wins like a foregone conclusion. But now there was a crack in the armor. And the driver causing it wasn't some wildcard rookie, it was Ryan Blaney. A man who had been studying the craft, biding his time, and quietly sharpening his skills. Team Penske's improvement played a huge role. In 2024, their road course package just wasn't in the same league as the elite teams. But in 2025, they showed up with better brake cooling, more precise gearing, and a suspension setup that gave Blaney the confidence to attack corners instead of tiptoeing through them. That wasn't luck, that was preparation. And it sent a clear message to the rest of the field. Penske wasn't just going to show up to road courses, they were coming to win them. The mental game shifted too. Drivers who believe they can win on certain tracks start to race differently. And after Watkins Glen, Blaney wasn't talking like a guy hoping for a top 10 anymore. His body language told the story. No slumped shoulders, no defeated sighs. Instead, there was a measured confidence, almost like he knew this was only the beginning. That's dangerous for a rival like SVG, because once you start getting pushed, even the smallest mistakes can start to creep in. Fans felt that energy immediately. Social media lit up during the race, especially anytime Blaney and SVG were within a second of each other. Watch parties and live threads buzzed with debate. Some fans were convinced this was the start of a new rivalry that could define the rest of the season. Others scoffed, saying SVG still had race day dominance on lock. But one thing was certain. The days of SVG winning road courses unchallenged were over. And SVG himself? He might not admit it outright, but his post-race comments said enough. Acknowledging that he had to adapt on the fly to keep Blaney behind was as close to a confession as you'll get in NASCAR. For someone who's been so dominant, that kind of respect isn't given lightly. Blaney had earned it the hard way, by forcing SVG to dig deeper, and by refusing to back down when the heat turned up. That's why this moment matters beyond Watkins Glen. NASCAR's playoff format has made road courses more important than ever. A driver who can run up front in those races isn't just scoring points. They're controlling the momentum of the championship hunt. Blaney didn't just prove he could qualify well. He proved he could hold his own up front, win stages, and make SVG uncomfortable. And discomfort is a powerful weapon. Imagine this rivalry carrying into the playoffs. SVG and Blaney going head-to-head at a road course with a championship berth on the line. The tension in every braking zone. The risk of a single lockup or a missed shift deciding an entire season. That's the kind of storyline NASCAR fans live for, and Watkins Glen may have just given us the first chapter. For SVG, the road course throne is still his, for now. But he's no longer alone in the castle. Blaney's run wasn't a fluke, and everyone in the garage knows it. He's got the car, the team, and now the mindset to go after road course wins, not just survive them. And when a driver starts believing he can take down the king, well, history shows that the king's days are numbered. The next time these two meet on a road course, the stakes will be higher, the racing tighter, and the margin for error razor thin. One qualifying lap at Watkins Glen flipped the script, and we might be watching the start of NASCAR's next great on-track rivalry. So here's the real question. Do you think Ryan Blaney can actually take a road course win from SVG before the season ends? Or is this just another case of the champion being pushed, but not dethroned? Either way, buckle up. This battle is far from over.